I played Frisbee as a kid and always loved Frisbee, but discovered disc golf and Ultimate on the same day, but I had to leave California to do it. Found it when I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. And that was 1977, and object courses, and it was love at first sight, both Ultimate and disc golf, and I haven't had my fill yet. His name was Bob Vanderboss, and he was an incredibly feisty, competitive player. He was something, and just to get in the playoff, he had to can, must have been close to a 50-foot putt into a headwind with a drop-off behind the basket. You know, the slope fell away pretty good, and it was unbelievable that he hit the putt. I knew right then I was done for. There was no way I was going to win, and the playoff hole was not real long, but it was, we kind of threw from uphill, down, and around the corner, kind of a lefty shot, and Bob was a lefty, and I was a little closer than him, maybe 25, 27 feet uphill, and Bob was a little further from below the basket. And his putt was dead on line, just a little high. Doink didn't go in, and somehow mine fluffed on down into the basket. And that was pretty doggone cool. I think the boy that probably should have took me down was Johnny Lissaman. And we were neck and neck, and then going into the last 9 holes or so, just seemed to me like Johnny kind of pressed. He liked throwing his lefty flick, and there were a few instances where a lefty backhand would have given him a bigger window through the gaps in the trees, and he had a few shots that just didn't quite hit the gap. I felt like he was not taking the best. He was comfortable with the sidearm, but it just wasn't the best odds shot, and it cost him a few strokes there right toward the end and let me slip away. It was a busy year, actually, because we used 2 courses at Winthrop. We used Kilbourne and we used Hornet's Nest. And a lot of people may not know, but the Hornet's Nest of now is not the Hornet's Nest I designed first off. It was my first course I ever designed, and it was maybe a mediocre course prior to Worlds, and Harold Duvall, Alan Beaver, and Steve Lambert approached me, and we walked out, and I learned a lot more about course design, especially from Harold, but Steve and Alan, also mentors of mine, and we tweaked that course and made it what it is today. So when you think Hornet's Nest, people think me, but it's a lot bigger than me. In my work, I'm a designer, an engineer / designer, and I have to be able to look at a job site and think from right to left, left to right, up to down, back and forth. And that's one of the things Harold Duvall taught me also, is don't lock yourself in. You get one idea and just stay with that, and maybe box yourself into a corner. And I've learned that through my work. So I get to know, first of all, I just really get to know my property really well. I spend a lot of time getting to know it before I come up with any kind of design and say, yes, this is for sure. I want to design holes if it's a tough course, and a lot of my courses I've tried to make tough, that challenge people, challenge accuracy, and try to bait people into throwing a lot harder than they should. You played Angry Beaver today, and Nevin is much the same, and a lot of the pros didn't like it because, you know, a lot of it's mid-range to landing zones, and a lot of people get sucked into pulling out a driver and throwing a lot harder than they should, or at least that the odds say. The amount of times you nut that shot versus the amount of times you're going to get a double or triple bogey says you probably ought not throw it, and yet they do. Well, that gives me some satisfaction. Yeah, I do like that. I catch myself too, though. I go for it. You know, I just like challenging a player's skill, and Carolina's golf is wooded golf, and that's pretty much what you get here in Charlotte. You're really, really well served if you are patient. Take the time to hike. Get to know your property completely, everything, all the trees, all the wonderful features it may offer. Is there a cluster of boulders, creeks, ravines, trees of interest, large poplar or oak trees, anything that's beautiful, and then incorporate that into your design, either in a green or a tee area and all. But I think I see a lot of people just go out and start designing before they really know the whole course, and they say, damn, this is a tee pad here, and this is we're going to have this hole, this is a great hole, and they design a great hole, and then it boxes them into a corner, and the holes on the other side are mediocre or worse. And you know, if they'd taken more time, maybe they wouldn't have the great hole, they'd maybe really have a really good hole, and the other holes on the other side of it would be pretty good holes, or good holes rather than lousy ones. Just more patience, more time. Don't make hasty decisions. Probably Renaissance, just that course itself, because at that time I was young and younger, strong, still able to muscle heavy logs and timbers and stuff into place, and had the time and the desire to build a course that was incredibly challenging on so many levels. And you know, the older I get, the more scared of it I am. I have to have a really good day to even want to go out and challenge it. But I'd say just Rennie, the whole package of the Gold Course. That was really cool. That's my highlight of my disc golf career. But it's a jury of your peers. Do they enjoy playing with you? Are you fun to play with? Do you bring people down? You know, are you a whiner, complainer? These are the things I hate the most about some of the people in the sport that'll get out and they don't own their own shots. They don't own their own poor round. It's the designer's fault or the course's fault or something stupid. It's not them. And that's just not me by any stretch of the imagination. I don't try to bring people down. I might, you know, but I don't think that would happen very often. And that's why I got the award from a jury of my peers, and to me, that's what it's about. It harkens back to the Frisbee days. Us long hairs out there, short pants, tennis shoes, no shirt, throwing, catching, enjoying the pure flight of the disc. Yeah, that's what it's about. It was amazing what we, the Charlotte Disc Golf Club, did. Not Stan, we. Got a number of really wonderful course designers entered the field of course designing. Sam Nicholson doing Wingate Park. We had Craig Whitney and Chris CTP Paterno doing R.L. Smith. We had Mark Huther doing Bailey Road and assisting along with Matt Keats, me at Nevin, and Rob Kelly with some assistance from Ralph Vickers doing Idlewild. And they all did a bang-up job, amazing, not only design, but they bought into it, so they were the main muscle to build these things. And Sam Nicholson not only did Wingate with his sidekick Tom Musselman, but really muled on all the other courses. I mean, he's one of the 2 mules here in town, and the amount of labor to do 9 courses in 4 years was beyond anything I can even describe. I'm still feeling it in my joints, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders. I'm not honestly recovered. I don't know if I will, but it just, especially toward that last 4 or 5 months, the push to polish now what we had in place, and when you're already weary and shot. So yeah, it was an amazing accomplishment, but I will tell you this too. When Sam and Bill told me that they had bid on the Worlds in 2008 when we went up to Michigan to play, I said some nasty things to them that had 4 letters, because I did know what lay ahead, and it was every bit of the epical journey that I knew it would be. I made a rash commitment to a little town right near where I live in Stallings, and we're about 2/3 of the way through a little beginner course there. It will have been worth it, but it's still, I got a deadline there, and I'm really tired of that kind of stuff. I'm enjoying playing a lot more, hanging out with my buddies. It's awesome. I will say the wear and tear on me has caused me to rethink some things, to see if I'm still doing this in a year, but I gave up beer and eating differently, apples, fruits and stuff, and I've dropped a good little bit of weight, and I'm feeling much better, sleeping better. And as I get older, I want to feel good. I don't want to feel like crap like I had been. So that's good. I'd like to play a little bit more, not really with the same eye of the tiger that I did back when I really cared, but I do want to play some more tournaments and stuff, but mostly just play with my buddies here in town on all these courses we've got, and I'm doing that. The big thing that's exciting me is our relationship with our park department here in Mecklenburg County, is that they are going to start running youth league disc golf, that we're partnering with them for some stuff. And can you imagine a large city like Charlotte running youth leagues just like softball or soccer? It is kicking off this year. I think that's really big and exciting.